Public opinion turns against superheroes, also called supers, due to the collateral damage caused by their crime fighting. After several lawsuits, the government silently initiates the Superhero Relocation Program, which forces supers to permanently adhere to their secret identities. 15 years later, Bob and Helen Parr, formerly known as Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, and their children Violet, Dash, and baby Jack-Jack are a suburban family. Bob dislikes the mundanity of suburbia and his white-collar job. Together with his friend Lucius Best, formerly known as Frozone, Bob occasionally relives the glory days by moonlighting as a vigilante. After his supervisor prevents him from stopping a mugging, Bob loses his temper and injures him, resulting in the loss of his job. Returning home, Bob finds a message from a mysterious woman named Mirage, who convinces him to become Mr. Incredible again, and gives him a mission to destroy a savage tripod-like robot called the Omnidroid on the remote island of Nomanisan. Bob finds the Omnidroid and destroys it by tricking it into ripping out its own power source. Bob finds the action and higher pay rejuvenating. He improves his relationship with his family and begins rigorous training while awaiting more work from Mirage for the next 2 months. Discovering a tear in his suit, he visits superhero costume designer Edna Mode. Mode, assuming that Helen knows what Bob is doing, makes new suits for the entire family. Leaving for Nomanisan once again, Bob discovers Mirage is working for Buddy Pine, a disaffected former fan whom Mr. Incredible had rejected as his sidekick. Having adopted the name Syndrome, he has been perfecting the Omnidroid by hiring different supers to fight it, adding new features on the occasion that a super wins. Now that it is capable of defeating Bob, Syndrome intends to send the machine to the city of Metroville. There, he will secretly manipulate its controls to defeat it in public, becoming a hero himself. Later, he will sell his inventions so that everyone will become equally super, making the term meaningless. Meanwhile, Helen visits Edna and learns what Bob has been up to. Edna activates a beacon she built into the suits so Helen can find Bob, inadvertently causing him to be discovered and captured. Helen borrows a private plane to head for Nomanisan, but Violet and Dash have stowed away wearing their own suits, leaving Jack-Jack with the babysitter. Syndrome shoots down Helen's plane, but she and the children survive and reach the island. Helen infiltrates the base, discovering Syndrome's intentions to send the Omnidroid to Metroville in a rocket. Distraught by Syndrome's indifference when her life was threatened, Mirage releases Bob and informs him of his family's survival. At the same time, Helen arrives and races off with Bob to find their children. Dash and Violet are spotted and chased by a number of Syndrome's guards, but fend them off with their powers before reuniting with their parents. However, Syndrome captures them, leaving them imprisoned on Nomanisan while he follows the rocket to Metroville. The Parrs escape and travel to Metroville in a spare rocket. True to its programming, the Omnidroid recognizes Syndrome as an opponent and attacks the remote on his wrist, making him incapable of controlling it, while simultaneously knocking him unconscious. The Parrs and Frozone team up to fight the Omnidroid. The battle is indecisive until Bob comes across the remote, allowing him to control one of the robot's arms and uses it to destroy its power source. Returning home, the Parrs find Syndrome, who plans to kidnap and raise Jack-Jack as his own sidekick to exact revenge on the family. As Syndrome is traveling upward to reach his airplane, Jack-Jack's own superpowers start to manifest and he escapes from Syndrome mid-air. Syndrome manages to get on the plane and gloats, but Bob throws his own car towards the plane, causing Syndrome to lose his balance and get sucked into the plane's jet engine, destroying the aircraft and killing him while Helen catches Jack-Jack. 3 months later, the Parrs witness the arrival of a new villain called the Underminer. They put on their superhero masks ready to face a new threat.